So one of the final embargoes has lifted here today, and I can now talk about the FLC character that is coming with A World Betrayed. And I think this is a very exciting character. It covers a lot of the big reworks that are coming in the large patch that will be accompanying A World Betrayed. So Yen Baihu, the White Tiger Yen, will really do a lot of different things for you as far as what a bandit can do, or maybe what you're used to for bandits, and how that bandit rework is really going to come to the fore. So again, this is not a guide on how to play Yen Baihu. This is just simply a campaign overview to decide if this is the character for you when the DLC launches in a couple weeks. So we're going to go over Yen Baihu at a high level and discuss how his faction works as a whole, their total objectives, as well as just kind of covering that bandit rework in the motion. I know we covered it during the patch notes on Thursday, so this will actually give you a visual representation of what has changed with the bandit technology system. So here we have it with Yen Baihu and his campaign itself. And he has a lot of really awesome mechanics working for him, not to mention his White Tiger Confederation, which is going to be a very different way to play bandits than you normally are used to. Especially because it's all about, increasing your coalitions and creating allies throughout the land. Especially nice because he does start around a lot of characters that are on other factions that are not led by warlords with their own ambitions. So that'll help out in his White Tiger Confederation. The cool things about his White Tiger Confederation is that it decreases the research time for the bandit network, and it reduces recruitment cost of non-bandit units. So he'll be able to really get a lot of units out of his bandit network specializations, which we'll go into when we take a look at the actual campaign itself. I know we did cover it loosely in the patch notes that came out just the other day, but I want you guys to be able to see it in its full working order. Now, in addition to, he does have two new units. He gets his White Tiger Warriors, which are these kind of two-handed assault warriors with some good splash attacks, doing tons of damage. And then the White Tiger Raiders, which don't have much armor, but they can guerrilla deploy, which is pretty sick. He also gets the Shunyue camp, which will give him access to some food for the banditry, food from banditry, as well as a bandit network research rate increase, which is nice because these things can be created in minor settlements, which is pretty cool. Now, also you get the mercenary treaties. Now, we did go over this with Lu Bu, but it is worth bringing up yet again, just to kind of go over these real quick if you missed this with the Lu Bu video, is that the mercenary treaties can be enacted by any of the other warlords saying, hey, I want this to be your military target. So, for instance, I think it was Liu Biao said, I want you to go and fight the Yellow Turban Rebellion on my Lu Bu playthrough. And with the mercenary treaty, you now have a target. You can go and prosecute that war against the target they so wish, and anything you capture as far as settlements go, you can then sell back to the enacting warlord that issued this diplomatic treaty. So it's a really cool way to feel like you are a bandit, like you do have this kind of military arm that can be used throughout the whole world, depending on which warlord wants to use you. So it will also help out with your bandit network and its expansions, because your bandit network can actually expand better and faster in lands you've conquered. So we'll go over that in just a little bit. In addition to, you also get Yen Yu, your champion. He's your noteworthy character who starts right alongside Yen Baihu. And Yen Baihu himself is a sentinel. This says starting situation easy, and I totally agree with that. When you've got a sentinel and a champion, you've got two very strong characters. One that's going to be able to hold the line very well, and the other that's going to be able to challenge enemy warlords quite handedly. I mean, I know that Lu Bu is a vanguard, and he kind of breaks the rules of being a normal vanguard, and that he is very good at killing everything. The nice thing about champions is that they're going to be very strong against your other warlords, so it'll help you to get a lot of early expansion with Yen Baihu, which is quite important for his White Tiger Confederation. Now, another thing to mention with Yen Baihu is he gets stock for his faction mechanic as a faction leader, as well as 5% replenishment faction-wide. And this is just kind of worth noting before we jump into the campaign itself. You can start in 190. You can start in the Rise of the Warlords if you so wish. You don't have to just start in A World Betrayed. But it is also worth noting that Yen Baihu is the only character to start on the eastern and southern portion of the map. The closest one is, of course, Sunjian. And then you also have over here Liu Biao. So you do have this kind of fun, different territory to kind of expand into. And the nice thing about it too is you have no warlords around you in this southern region. So You obviously do have Yuan Shu and you have Sun Ce to your north, so you have the ability to kind of play with this whole area as you see fit, which is, I think, very interesting and really cool. Hopefully it leads to a lot of very fun and interesting plays with Yan Baihu, because I think as a bandit, he's a very fun and different character. But as a World Betrayed goes, as far as the FLC character goes, I would argue he's probably more fun and interesting than both Sun Ce and Lu Bu. I think he's got a lot more going for him. So I think as far as a DLC goes, the FLC seems to be the coolest portion of it. So let's jump into the campaign and take a look at all these mechanics and how they actually are brought to life, as well as talk about that bandit network that we've talked about so many times. Alright, and here we are at turn 1 of a Yan Baihu campaign. And again, as always guys, if I do butcher any pronunciations, I am so sorry. I do the best I can. And in addition to that, I did get your guys' feedback about the campaign audio being way too loud. And it really was last time. So hopefully it's not going to be that loud this time around. We'll be able to actually have fun. You'll be able to hear me. So this is where you start out. Again, right, we know where we're starting out here. We can see Yellow Turban Rebellion over here. Yan Baihu starts over in this little commandery of Jindu. And he actually has quite a little bit to start off with. He gets the lumber yard as well as this large town, with your initial kind of goal is to go take this weapon craftsman at Poyang. So we do have the White Tiger Coalition right here, or I'm sorry, Confederation, as your faction mechanic. And remember, entering into coalitions and alliances will grow your White Tiger Confederation and the bonuses that come with it. So on the very first tier, White Tiger Bond, we get a reduction in cost of establishing outlaws and outcast connections, clandestine and corrupt connections, the cost of establishing tribes and tradition, as well as faith and folly connection. We'll go into those in just a little second, but just keep in mind, those are all important towards the research. Those are basically the 4 different types of research in the Bandit network. And then also a reduction in recruitment costs for all non-bandit units. Then at the very top of this tier, the White Tiger Empire, it's a 15% cost, 20, 10, and 25% cost reduction, or as far as just the research time for outlaws, clandestine, faith, and tribes. Kind of put them all into one quick category. Now also minus 20% recruitment costs for all non-bandit units as well. So obviously building up your confederation is going to be the huge driving force behind your overall growth. And I think what's very interesting about this mechanic is there's no downside. There's no downside at all. I mean, I guess the downside you could say is that you do have to form coalitions, and that might pull you into a lot of wars you maybe not had planned. So that, I guess, in and of itself, the diplomacy portion can be a bit tedious. But I still think that the biggest thing about this is that you're going to be able to go wherever you so wish and really kind of use your bandit network to your greatest strength, I guess you could say. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. We will delegate this. I always recommend you fight these, but just for the sake of this video. It was a Pyrrhic victory. Like, are you kidding me? Wow, lost quite a bit. And we'll recruit. And let's just do this. And we'll delegate that as well. It's a superior victory this time, so I'm fine with it. A decisive victory indeed. And occupy. So we've now gone through our first little quick things here. And it says to kind of do our buildings over here. So let's go ahead and bring this up and bring up the Shunyue camp. It's Shunyue. I always butcher that one. So, take a look at the Shunyue camp here. We can see that it reduces the cost of establishing tribes and tradition connections, food production from banditry, which are going to be plenty of, and then Yue tribesmen available for recruitment +1. This goes up to this one, which is going to be the Shunyue fortress, which is again going to further reduce that cost of tribes and traditions by an additional 1%, and also 6 food production from banditry, Yue remnant warriors available for recruitment +1, and Yue tribesmen available for recruitment +2. And when you actually take a look over here at Yan Baihu, he does actually start with some very intriguing things. He gets some bandit warriors, so that is what that is. But he gets some Yue tribesmen right out the gate for some medium spear infantry, and then the Yue remnant warriors. He gets 2 units of these guys. They're pretty good little sword infantry. They dual wield. They do some good damage here. I'm going to go bring them up right here so we can take a look. They get stock, which is nice. They get guerrilla deployment. Stock, I believe, is because it's him, Yun Baihu. I don't think it, or yen Baihu. I don't think it's actually because of the unit itself. As I check, oh no, it is the unit itself. I think. Oh no, it's there we go. It's it's because it's yen Baihu. Encourage provides a morale bonus to nearby allies. Discipline does not suffer a morale penalty when the general dies. It can also rally after routing more often. Attrition immunity. So you get a lot of really cool things here. Of course, you get the typical stuff. You get the White Tiger's claws, expertise, instinct, and melee damage increase here. Yen Baihu's armor, expertise, melee evasion enables stock for his own retinue. And then the White Stallion, which is going to give him authority, chance of evading capture, and charge bonus. And then also he gets a composite bow. So and I'm just kind of going through these real quick because I know some people wanted to see them in the last video, what the characters had on them. So I'm just kind of touching on those real fast. He is a Sentinel, Legendary Sentinel, so he has that typical kind of tree. This gets so this is kind of an interesting repetitive thing here, right? Enable stock. Well, he's got that quite a bit already. And then also we can see Yen Yu, who is going to be your Legendary Champion. Yeah, we'll give him that already. We'll give him that. But he's got his Yen Yu's armor, which gives resolve, melee evasion, and speed, and he is a champion. Now, if we haven't shown you guys this before, I feel like going over it real quick. I don't think we covered it in the Sun Tzu or the Lu Bu video. This is going to be new with the titles panel, which allows you to really kind of customize the way your character progresses in a way that makes sense for you. You don't have that simple button over here. You just click and, oh, okay, I'm going to promote you. I'm going to promote you. Now you kind of go down what makes the most sense. Or do you want him to be the general of the left or the general of the right? The general of the left. Okay, well, this is going to have resolve, satisfaction, and recruitment cost reduction, as well as increases salary as to be expected. Which at the very top, commander who scales city walls, increases instinct, enables flaming shot, satisfaction, increases rate of wall and settlement damage during sieges. General of the front. So as you do these different things in battle, you can see they have a padlock on them. Win a battle where over 35 units participated, not counting generals. Win 10 sieges as the attacker. So as you actually progress through the campaign on a trajectory you want to go through, you will unlock different titles that you can then appoint to all of your characters. And I think this is a really cool level of customization that they've now added to Three Kingdoms that I think has been kind of a little overshadowed here. I think this is something that's really amazing. General who gives tranquility to the north. Conquer 5 regions north of the Yellow River. Expertise, satisfaction, campaign movement range, and speed increase. So all of these things, and there's a ton of them, as you can clearly see. I think that they're all really awesome. And it adds, again, that level of customization to your playthrough that fits the narrative you have in mind for your Three Kingdoms campaign. And I think that's a really strong boon that we haven't even seen in any other Total War game that really kind of gives you these rewards for essentially doing mini achievements in your campaign, which I really kind of like. You know, win 10 battles with generals who have 6 pikeman units in their retinues to get the Oxhorn General. Resolve, satisfaction, and 5% armor for all spear infantry. So look through these titles, see which ones really make the most sense for you, and then you can really kind of pursue them as your achievements or as your actual campaign sees fit. You know, win 10 decisive or heroic battles. Boom. Authority, satisfaction, and range damage. So that kind of covers that. So the last big thing I do, or the 2 big things I want to go through real quick, are his court, or his faction summary. So Bandit, Raider, Bandit Leader, Bandit King, and then Emperor. So Yen Baihu's overall objective is to become the Emperor. This is a very fun and different approach to the Bandit system. You do now have Emperor as your primary objective here, so a really cool one for Yen Baihu. Kind of fits this whole White Tiger Confederation that he's creating in his White Tiger Empire at the end of his line. And lastly here, let's go into that Bandit network. It's probably one of the biggest showcases of not just this DLC, but the FLC portion of it in Yen Baihu. So you see this pretty awesome, pretty crazy map. And each one of these nodes you can see has a little soldier icon. It means that you get either the recruitment capability of a specific unit or the increased capacity to recruit certain units. For example, this one. Oh, did I click it? Yeah, okay. Gotta slowly move through all these nodes. This will give me 2 more repeating crossbowmen that I can recruit. Whereas the one without a plus on it. I just saw it a second ago. Aha, this one will now enable me to recruit Raider Cavalry. So having these little nodes active, like for instance, Spirit of the White Tiger Bandits. White Tiger Warriors. Is that the one? No, it's this one. Sorry. Blades of the UA. UA, I think that is. UA Remnant Warriors, but that only gives me 2. I can go down to this node, Scions of Min Yue, to get 2 more UA Remnant Warriors. So you go through these nodes as you see fit. What makes sense for you is, okay, I can see the lands I've conquered are these 2, right? I've conquered portions of Poyang, and I've conquered 2 portions of Jindu, and it shows me little check marks. I get a 200% research rate increase in Jindu because I have 2 of the 3. I would assume here this will be a total of 400 as I reach the top, or you maybe max out at 300%. But as you progress through these, as you get each one of these little commanderies or regions within the commanderies, you then get a further increase to your research rate. So as you kind of conquest through the map here, you can then decide which way you want to go. And each one of these will say, at the top it says Outlaws and Outcasts. This says Tribes and Traditions. This says Faith and Folly, and there's another one for basically Civic. Faith and Folly, Clandestine and Corrupt. So basically, you're taking a look at local tribes, criminal gangs, religious groups, corrupt organizations, and you're creating a network within all those, all 4 of those, and you're basically getting certain benefits of them. By expanding through each one of these nodes, you really will start to kind of customize, again, your playthrough. It's not just Baihu, with all of the bandits. They all have access to this. So depending on where you start, either over here, I think for the other one, and then I think around here somewhere. Like right around here or so. Righteous Bandits might be that. Might be one of these 3. But wherever you start, whichever one of the bandits, that's where you're going to start on this map, and that's how you're going to progress through that map. So Clandestine and Corrupt, like this node right here, you're going to be looking at Spy Network and Administration bonuses. Faith and Folly, like this one right here, you're going to look at civic bonuses like Population, Corruption, and Satisfaction mainly. Also will help out with morale. In addition to, you got Tribes and Traditions, which is like this one right here, which is going to help out a lot with military bonuses. And then Outlaws and Outcasts are going to help out with conquests and stance bonuses. Pretty much any kind of expansion through the realm is going to be Outlaws and Outcasts. Now, as far as the units that are accompanying them, I haven't noticed an overall correspondence per se. Like, okay, this is Scholar Warriors and White Tiger Bandits here. This is, sorry, where is it? Aha. This is Tribes and Traditions, gets me UA Remnants. This is Tribes and Tradition, gets me UA Remnants. But I believe there's another portion on the map where you get UA Remnant Warriors, and it's not Tribes and Traditions. So I haven't been able to find a direct correlation between the units per se and the actual research node, because I haven't really been able to explore it 100% or really drill in deep and write down every single one of them. But as you expand out on this map, you will really decide which one of these units you want to go for, which way you want to go for some of these benefits, or even just how you conquest through the campaign. Maybe you're only going to go through the nodes of the places that you actually capture. So you can see here, we have these ones already, denoted by this little check harvest icon. And all the blinking ones are the ones that we can kind of expand to around us. And if we actually move an expansion of our empire in that direction, we'll then further get a research bonus in those respective commanderies. So the Bandit Network is huge. It's massively expansive, and it really kind of creates a specific play style for you, or at least it gives you a certain direction on how you want to play. And that's further reinforced by the mercenary treaties that you then are offered, and further reinforced too by how your confederations are working. So the Bandit Networks are going to be a really fun and interesting way to play through your Bandit Network, through your Yen Baihu campaign. In closing though, I do think that Yen Baihu is probably the most interesting legendary lord being accessed, or warlord being added with a World Betrayed, and I think he offers a lot of really cool tools for you to play with. So I hope this video kind of gave you a really good overview of how Yen Baihu will be coming into Three Kingdoms, and how the Bandit Rework really can influence your playstyle and the direction of your campaign. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about maybe your opinions on Yen Baihu, or what bandit you want to play, if you even want to play a bandit. But again, guys, like I said, have a good one and take care.